a version of Tale by VIVOBOOX.
What if the one person you trusted most led you straight into the arms of danger? This is the story of Blondine, and nothing is as it seems.
6 months had passed since Blondine woke up from her 7-year sleep. She often felt sad when she thought about her father. Bombiche and Beaumignon seemed to understand her sadness. Beaumignon meowed softly, and Bombiche sighed. Blondine didn't talk about her worries because she didn't want to upset them. Bombiche would tell her, "Be patient, Blondine. If you stay good and wise, you will see your father when you turn 15. Trust me and don't try to leave us."
One morning, Blondine was alone and feeling gloomy. Suddenly, she heard 3 light taps on her window. When she looked up, she saw a beautiful parrot with green feathers and an orange chest. She opened the window and let it in. To her surprise, the parrot spoke. "Good day, Blondine. I know you get bored because you have no one to talk to. I came to keep you company. But don't tell Bonnebiche, she would cut my throat."
"Why?" asked Blondine. "Bonnebiche is kind." "If you don't promise to keep my visit a secret, I'll leave forever," said the parrot. Blondine promised. She enjoyed talking with the parrot, who visited her every day. One morning, the parrot said urgently, "Open the window. I bring news of your father. But be quiet, or Bonnebiche will kill me."
Blondine opened the window excitedly. "Your father is well," said the parrot, "but he cries for you. I want to help you escape this place, but you must help me." "Escape?" Blondine asked. "Bonnebiche and Beaumignon love me. They take care of me." "You don't know them as I do," said the parrot. "They want to keep you here forever. There is only one way to escape: a magic rose. If you pick it yourself, you will return to your father."
"But there are no roses here. I will tell you how to find one tomorrow. For now, ask Bonnebiche for a rose and see how she reacts." The parrot flew away just before Bonnebiche entered the room. Bonnebiche asked who Blondine was talking to, but Blondine lied. Bonnebiche said nothing, but tears filled her eyes.
The next day, Blondine asked about roses. Bonnebiche became very frightened. "Never speak of the rose, Blondine. It is dangerous, deadly for you." Blondine said no more, but she now doubted Bonnebiche because of the parrot's lies. The parrot returned the next morning and said, "You saw how scared she was. After breakfast, sneak out of the park. I'll show you where the rose grows."
Blondine agreed. After breakfast, she went into the garden. Beaumignon followed her, but she grew irritated and finally kicked him to make him leave. He ran away crying. Blondine felt guilty, but she kept going. She entered the forest. The parrot led her deeper and deeper. The path became rough and scary. Blondine grew tired and scratched, but the parrot urged her forward. At last, they reached a small fenced area. In the center grew a single, perfect rose. "Pick it," said the parrot. Blondine grabbed it, hurting her fingers on the thorns. Suddenly, the rose laughed. "Thank you for freeing me. I am your evil genius. You belong to me now." The parrot also changed and shouted, "Now I can return to my true form, a magician. You have destroyed your friends."
Then both the rose and the parrot vanished, leaving Blondine alone.
Blondine was horrified. She had believed a stranger and betrayed Bonne Biche and Beau Minon. She ran back to the castle through the painful forest. After 3 hours she arrived, only to find the castle in ruins, covered with thorns and nettles. A large frog appeared and said, "You have killed your friends through your ingratitude. Leave this place." Blondine cried and wished she could die to make up for what she had done. A black crow flew above and said, "True regret can repay even great mistakes." Blondine walked away, sad and alone. She found a small space between some trees and made it into a simple shelter. Soon she became hungry and thirsty. Suddenly she heard bells, and a gentle cow appeared with a silver bowl. Blondine milked the cow and drank gratefully. The cow came to her morning, noon, and night every day.
Blondine lived like this for 6 months. She made the little shelter tidy, slept on moss, repaired her shoes with grass and thorns, and spent her time crying and regretting her mistake. She wished she could bring Bonne Biche and Beau Minon back, and happily would have stayed in the forest forever if it could undo her wrongs.
The Tortoise. One day, Blondine sat at the entrance of her little shelter, thinking sadly about her lost friends and her father. Suddenly, she saw a huge tortoise in front of her. "Blondine," said the tortoise, "if you agree to come under my protection, I will lead you out of this forest."
"Why should I leave?" Blondine replied. "I caused my friends' deaths. I deserve to stay here and die."
"Are you sure they are really dead, Blondine?"
asked the tortoise. "What do you mean?" Blondine cried. "Could I be wrong?"
"You saw the ruins," said the tortoise, "but did you see them? The parrot and the frog may not have told you the truth. And if your friends were alive, perhaps something prevents them from coming to you. True regret often leads to forgiveness."
"Oh, Madame Tortoise," Blondine said eagerly, "if my friends are alive, if I can hope to see them again, tell me what to do. I'll do anything to earn that happiness." "I cannot tell you what happened to your friends," said the tortoise, "but if you have the courage to ride on my back for 6 months without getting down and without asking a single question, I will take you to a place where everything will be explained."
"I promise," Blondine said quickly. "I'll do whatever you ask if it will help me learn the truth." "Think carefully," warned the tortoise. 6 months on my back with no questions. Once we begin, if you fail, you will fall forever under the power of the evil magician Parrot and his sister Rose. I won't be able to help you any more, not even the little help I've given you these past 6 months.
"Let us go now," said Blondine. "I'd rather die from the journey than die from sadness and doubt. You have given me hope. I am ready."
"So be it," said the tortoise. "Climb on to my back. Do not fear hunger, thirst, cold, heat, or any danger. You will suffer nothing while you travel with me."
Blondine climbed on to the tortoise's back. "Now silence," the tortoise said. "Not one word until our journey ends and I speak first." And with that, their long journey began. The journey and arrival.
Blondine's journey with the tortoise lasted exactly 6 months. They spent 3 months crossing the forest. Then they reached a dry, empty plain, which took another 6 weeks to travel across.
At last, Blondine saw a castle in the distance. It looked very much like the castle where she had once lived with Bonne Biche and Beaumignon, but the tortoise moved so slowly that it took them a whole month just to move down the long avenue leading to it. Blondine was desperate to know what had happened to her friends.
She longed to run ahead to the castle, but she remembered she wasn't allowed to get off the tortoise's back or speak, so she stayed silent. The tortoise crawled even slower than before, and it took 14 more days to finally reach the castle door. The castle seemed empty. Blondine saw no one and heard nothing.
At last, the tortoise stopped and said, "Now, Princess Blondine, you may get down. Because you have been brave and obedient, you deserve your reward. Enter the little door ahead. The first person you meet will be the fairy Bienveillante. She will tell you the fate of your friends."
Blondine slid off the tortoise's back. Surprisingly, she felt light and strong again, just like she had in the forest of lilacs. She thanked the tortoise and hurried to the door. Inside, she met a young woman dressed in white. "I wish to see the fairy Bienveillante," said Blondine. "Follow me, princess," said the young woman.
Blondine followed her through many beautiful rooms filled with other girls dressed in white. They all smiled kindly at her. Finally, she entered a room that looked exactly like Bonne Biche's chamber in the forest of lilacs. The memories made her heart ache. Without noticing when her guide slipped away, Blondine stared around the room. Only one thing was different: a beautiful golden and ivory wardrobe. She couldn't stop looking at it. She felt strangely pulled toward it. Suddenly, a beautiful woman entered the room. She was richly dressed and had a warm, gentle voice. "What do you want, my child?" she asked.
Blondine dropped to her knees. "Oh, madam, please tell me what happened to my dear friends Bonne Biche and Beaumignon. I believed I killed them through my foolish disobedience. The tortoise gave me hope. Please tell me if they still live." The fairy Bienveillante said softly, "You are about to learn what became of them. Whatever you see, do not lose courage or hope." She led Blondine to the golden wardrobe, handed her a gold key, and said, "Open it, Blondine. Be brave." With shaking hands, Blondine unlocked the wardrobe and screamed in horror. Inside were the skins of Bonne Biche and Beaumignon, nailed to the wood with sparkling diamond nails. Blondine fainted. At that moment, a handsome young prince rushed in. "Oh, mother," he cried, "this is too much for my sweet Blondine." "Alas, my son," said the fairy, "it was necessary to free her from the evil genius of the forest of lilacs." The fairy touched Blondine with her wand, waking her. Blondine burst into tears. "Let me die! I cannot bear this! My friends are gone forever!" But the fairy caught her in her arms. "Blondine, my child, your friends are alive and love you still. I am Bonne Biche, your fairy guardian, and this is my son, Beaumignon. The evil genius forced us into those animal forms. We could only return to our true selves when you plucked the magic rose. We hid it far away, hoping you would never find it, but the wicked parrot tricked you." Blondine hugged them both again and again, overjoyed. She asked about the graceful gazelles who once served them.
"They are the young girls of this palace," said the fairy. "And the kind white cow who brought me milk every day? That was another gift we arranged for you," said the fairy. "Even the crow's comforting words came from us." "And the tortoise?"
That too was sent by us. The Queen of the Fairies allowed us to help you only if you proved your repentance by making this long, difficult journey. Blondine could not stop smiling and crying at the same time. She had her beloved friends back. Just then, she remembered her father. Prince Parfait, Beau Mignon, understood immediately. "Prepare yourself," said the fairy. "Your father is waiting for you."
Suddenly, Blondine found herself in a golden chariot decorated with pearls. The fairy sat beside her, and Prince Parfait sat at her feet. 4 glowing white swans pulled the chariot. In only 5 minutes, they arrived at King Benen's palace. The king rushed forward. Blondine jumped from the chariot and threw herself into his arms. Everyone wept with joy. After greeting the fairy and Prince Parfait, the king ordered 8 days of celebration. At the end, the fairy bienveillante said she must return home. But Blondine and Prince Parfait were so sad at the thought of being separated that King Benin ended the problem by marrying the fairy himself.
Blondine married Prince Parfait, who was forever the Beau Mignon she loved. Blondine's sister Brunette also grew kinder, and she and her husband became happy as well. From that time on, Blondine had no more sorrows. She and Prince Parfait had beautiful children, and everyone around them lived happily ever after.